Well, I'm going to start because I figured it's Sunday, the day before the holiday, so a lot of y'all may be out of town. So I'm just going to start, and y'all just have to catch the replay, but I would appreciate it. So I'm just going to talk about two main things. Well, maybe three, and we'll have a discussion. Hopefully, someone will come on, but if not, that's okay. I know I'm not consistent, but I'm going to try to be. But I do appreciate y'all for coming on my channel, visiting, and please like, comment, and subscribe. So basically, let's talk about people going on Instagram, TikTok, making. Hey, one person, go ahead and hit the thumbs up as you enter the room. Hey, y'all coming on quick. I thought y'all weren't going to be here. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Hit the thumbs. Not going to cost you nothing. It's free. And please comment, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. And I appreciate that. Hey, Brooklyn. So, how's your day been going? Mine's been a busy day. I haven't been around lately. Oh, well, I haven't been on my channel as much either, so don't apologize. I know when you do come on and I'm on, you always faithful coming on, so I would appreciate it. So, let me talk about some things. Because I didn't really get to talk about it when it comes on, and it's always tend to be trending. So, anyway, I'm so tired of hearing about this particular incident where someone made a video. Yeah, happy Independence, even though it's not our Independence Day, considering that we celebrate Juneteenth. But it's all here and there. So and then of course, women's rights, African Americans, we weren't given those rights. So when someone says, "Oh, happy, Independence Day," that's I'm always too technical when it comes to things, but I guess I'm grateful that I'm in this country and not some other cities or countries for that matter. So anyway, I was looking at a couple people's videos, from the beef sector. One particular person I was watching was Phi Babe. Now I didn't watch it because of whatever she was discussing, but it was this particular topic. You heard about the prank that someone did on I don't know, it was a TikTok or whatever, and this person had got like so many views because one of the baby daddies came with one bag of McDonald's for his child and not bring anything for the other three children. I think it was. I just either she had four children and it was all by different people, all by different men, baby daddies. But he came to the house with one bag of McDonald's for his son. And I finally saw the actual video today on someone else's channel. So as I was watching it, I was so appalled. My anxiety was going off the chain because I was like, oh, it made me so mad. And the thing about it, even though it turned around that it was a prank, this person put it out there, staged an event for clicks and views. Now, it might have been now it was staged. It wasn't real. It didn't happen. Turned around, I was reading that she only had one child by the boyfriend. The guy was the boyfriend, so it wasn't a real. It was not real, and it caused such a uproar on social media about it. And I'm sitting there, not I was so mad and angry not so much about the fact that he came with only one bag and only for his son and not bring anything for the other children or the siblings and this and that or whatever. Because to me, it was the interaction between her and him. That is, it wasn't done in front of children. It wasn't done. I was so mad about that trifling help that I started saying to myself, you know what? She was like very beyond disrespectful. I was like, first of all, why are you sitting here thinking that some man is supposed to obligate to take care of children that you brought in the world? And obviously the scenario is talking about, well, I don't get my food stamps until blah blah blah. And how you gonna, that just shows what kind of person you are. So you're gonna try to tell me that even though he is not he's not the father of the other children, even if this is a case that happens all over. It may have been staged, but to be honest, that's a scenario and situations that do occur to people. Now, it does. Now, I could speak from experience because I'm gonna tell y'all a story. You know, the difference between how men take care of their responsibilities when they have children for other women versus this new generation of how they take care of children or how they deal with parenthood or taking care of their responsibilities. It is way more different in how the situation is handled. So let me go ahead and address how I felt about the situation. Because I did write a comment, and most of the people under this particular person's channel basically pretty much said the same thing. Nope, but I've read other comments that people were like, well, how can you come and bring food and leave out other children and don't count for other kids, and if you're gonna come and take care of um, your child, why you didn't bring food? It ain't about no damn nasty ass McDonald's, you know? Because he was like that you couldn't pay a dollar something to bring. First of all, you know damn well McDonald's there ain't no $2, $3, $4, $5. Even you go, it wasn't about the fact that he just, that there are many people who come to see their child. They whether it be one child, two children, three, if they come to take care of their kids. But at what point I said to myself, you know what? It's not this is what I said. I said it's not his responsibility to take care of someone else's child. Even if you come into the house to visit your child or provide or drop off money or whatever for your child. Now, if there's other children in the household and it's not your kids or not your kids, you could do it not so because it's an obligation or you're supposed to do it. You do it because you have heart or you feel that, you know what, let me, provide for the other kids. If you could afford to do so, because you don't never know what people's circumstances are. But this is what pissed me off the most. The fact that she was like, you know what you get, what you got yourself into when you came in a relationship, and you know my situation, and you had a baby by me, even though I had other kids from other people, and that's your, no, you don't see people trying to trap men. Now I can only speak from a female side, but it does goes both ways. But most of the chance is the woman that's taking care of the children. That's the most of the time children are staying with the mother, especially if they go to court. Most of the time they're gonna award the children to the mother, and then they expect the man to pay the child support or whatever. So to me, she was like, I ain't my food stamps. Them. First of all, that means you're not working. That means you ain't trying to better yourself. Even if she had children or not. The fact that you say, well, I get my food stamps and I don't get. First of all, when they get food stamps and when you have children, they get way amount of money than they need to be receiving in food stamps or SNAP versus one person who gets SNAP is like only what 100. What is it? $150 something. That's all they get. Now I know I got food stamps about a few years back when I was unemployed, and I had these seasonal jobs. So they say, you can apply for unemployment. It's only 100 something. Now I don't know if they increase it a little bit, but it ain't a lot for one person. But whereas I heard people who got a whole buttload of kids, they getting like $500 something, $600 something, and in the state of Georgia, if you have kids, you getting at least 600. Now you know damn fucking well if you have babies, small children, what the hell? Children don't eat that much. You figure you feed them 3 meals. They don't eat they're not eating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of food. They don't eat that much. These smaller kids, you tend to eat very little. You know, they ain't eating a whole lot. And to get 500, about, 500 something dollars when you have a bunch of kids that's on some food stamps, food, EBT card, and then on top of that, um, they probably giving them other um, assistance. They getting assistance, and to me, I'm like, even though it was a prank, it wasn't. It did open up a discussion about the topic because, trust me, people wouldn't be talking about it. But there are situations where some of these women have multiple kids by multiple men. None of the fathers are there, whether it be by choice or whether it be by whatever circumstances that comes up. But if you have one father who has that child, his responsibility is to take care of his child, but he's not responsible to take care of other children in the household. He could do it out of his kindness of his heart, but technically, you can't say, "Oh, he's wrong. He should have. Yeah, he gonna come and bring McDonald's for his child and don't bring nothing for the other children, his siblings, and blah blah blah." I said he is not obligated to do that. However, you have to sometimes, unfortunately, you have to sometimes sit down. Especially, I'm not talking about a child who's 2, 3 years old or nothing. I ain't talking about that. But if a child is like at a certain age, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes you got to tell them and sit them down and tell them that sometimes you're not always going to get what you're going to get in life. Life is not going to be fair. Life ain't always going to be fair. She didn't what? She didn't answer when he said, "Where is their dad?" Well, it's nothing to answer because number one, these nuts. That scenario was staged. It was not real. But if the situation is happening, I'm quite sure that's happening in real life. That's just something someone brought up. I'm quite sure um, for her to say, you know what you got yourself into and there's women who probably do that. I have other kids when you came in the situation and and How you gonna not bring nothing for all my kids? You know, and he says that's only I'm taking care of my child. I'm coming to pick up my child. Now this is where I feel that the court system needs to change. Yep, it was staged. It wasn't real. It was staged. It was a fake incident. And this person got like, I heard what it was like 38, 40,000, 80,000 views and stuff and clicks. So it was clickbait to make money. Now, but the thing about it is the situation is real in terms of there are women who have multiple kids. There are men out there who got multiple baby mamas. And there are situations where people may come to the child and say, I'm only here to provide for my kids. And just because you don't provide for the others, that's not the responsibility for you. And it goes vice versa. It has nothing to do with being a man or woman. They're not responsible to take care of other people's children in situations, especially if, you know, you could respect the child, respect the parent, respect, but in terms of providing financially, no. Especially if you're not married to the person. If the person is not married to the person in the relationship and you're married, then you're responsible for whoever is in the household, whether they be stepchildren or whatever. If you're married and you legally adopt the other children that may not be yours. When she signed that birth certificate, whoever's on that birth certificate, that's the parent. That's the responsibility of whomever is on that birth certificate, the mother and whomever else is on there. But if you come into a relationship with someone who got kids and multiple kids, 3, 4, 5 baby daddies and stuff, and you're not even married to them, you're not married to them. You don't have no obligation to have to bring. If you bring something, you come to the house and you say, "Okay, I want to see my child or my son." Yeah, you show respect to the other kids, but in terms of thinking that the other kids are going to feel like, well, I ain't get nothing. Well, I ain't got none or whatever. I'm not talking about 2, 3. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 year old because they don't really know the concept. But when a child gets to a certain age and they become to understand and have comprehension, I'm talking about like if they're like 7, 8, all the way up to teenage years, you may feel like when someone comes over, well, why so and so daddy, he bring his stuff and I ain't getting none. Where's my daddy? When they're able to comprehend and understand the situation that they're in, that's when it becomes that's when you gotta sit the kids down. You gotta sit them down and ex- um and explain to them everything ain't gonna be fair in life. You're not gonna get what you want. Sometimes you have to be, you gotta be truthful with kids. Now people may say, well, that's insensitive. How you can be so insensitive? No, I'm not being insensitive. You got to tell these kids, particularly black kids or people of color, whatever the one you call them, is to be realistic and have an understanding that life is not always fair. Now, let me tell you a situation when I was growing up. Now, I have two other sisters. Well, let me say, I don't like to say half sister and stuff, but it was me, my sister Linda, and my other youngest sister. Her name was Erica. Now she passed away because each of us is 3 years apart. Right? I'm the oldest. My other sister that I talk about sometimes. I don't really talk about it, but she's the middle child. And then I had the youngest sister, Erica. She passed away. And each of us was a year apart. So she died when she was 6 years old, and I still remember it was just so devastating to my family about it. However, as I was growing up, me and my sister, we found out that we had a half sister named Cassandra. Now, some of y'all may remember I posted a little picture of me and my other sister. We were young and teenage. Y'all called us chocolate. One was dark skin, one me light skin. I know Coldest made a comment on the video about the picture. So if you went back on previous videos, I have a little picture of me and my sister. Now that's my half sister Cassandra. And we're about a year apart. she's more closer to my middle sister's age, similar age, but we were very close in age. Then I found out that I also had a brother, but he passed away and died at a younger age, closer to my youngest sister who passed, but he died in a fire in New York, in the Bronx. So um, I never really knew that, but I only knew that maybe when I was about 13. I want to say 13. I know I was young, I was a teenager. And that's when I met my half sister Cassandra. So when we first met, my father told, I remember my father mentioned it to us. He was real young about having another siblings and stuff and da da da. But they lived in the Bronx too until her mother took them to Albany, Georgia. Moved out of New York, moved to Albany, Georgia. So I'm quite sure she moved. She moved out of New York after my sister's youngest, well, my sister's brother, Jamie. His name was Jamie. My father's name is James. So he passed away when he was young. He was autistic, I heard, or something, but he died in a fire. So of course that was very devastating to my father. I think that guilt and some other things probably led to my father drinking and a whole bunch of things. But there was always secrets kept. So anyway, so I was in about I want to say I was in junior high school, so I had to be 13, 14 at the time when we first met my sister. Me and my sister Linda, we first met Cassandra. And I remember we might have been in late elementary school, but it was young. So I remember my father, you know, he told us about our other sister. At the time, I didn't never met my brother, so because he at that point he passed away. I never met him. Never, my father never mentioned him. Never said nothing about him. But my sister did. She even gave me a picture very recently, and I can't even find it. She gave it to me, and I can't even find the picture anymore. I saved it on my phone, but maybe my sister could send me another picture of him. So anyway, I remember it was in the summertime. My sister came to visit. We lived in a house, an apartment at the time. We ain't had no house. We lived. And I remember one time my mother screamed out the window, "Don't bring her back in here either." Making my sister feel kind of bad because she was there. Um, but my father took care of responsibilities, and my sister came to visit that summer. Now, me and my sister, we always got everything we wanted. We never did without. But I remember one time my father spoke to me and said, "Well, y'all live with me, I live with my parents. I live with my father. He's been in our lives. And when my sister came to visit, I think he was kind of like he wanted to develop a relationship more with my sister as well. And I think I was being, I don't know how I was acting, but however I acted, I think I felt a little bit like, well, you're my dad, and why why I gotta share you with this person, da da da. But I didn't know nothing much about my sister Cassandra. And he was like, well, y'all got everything y'all wanted, I gotta, treat her, whatever, develop a relationship with her. So he was kind of tell us not to be so jealous, you know, because I think at the time he probably did provide it for my sister and my brother, but he didn't show it in front of us. He didn't just, give us all good clothes and give us everything we needed and wanted. I'm quite sure he supported my sister Cassandra and my brother at the time. But he was like, she came to visit in New York for the first time, I guess. Met me and my sister, and of course, met the. She always knew about my other uncles and aunts because they always mentioned it, but I never really understood it because I was really, real young when they mentioned it, but I wasn't really like in tune about the situation. So my father felt that, we spent most of our lives with him. He provided for us, whereas he didn't give the same attention to my sister because they lived in Georgia, moved out of state, moved to Georgia. So he said to give a little bit slack about why we not getting certain things during the summer. We got stuff all year round. It wasn't about being materialistic, but let him kind of do provide for her while she was there to getting to know us and not feel like, well, why is she getting this and we ain't got this? When the fact of the matter is, he provided for us plus more. So you can't as a sibling who has a parent you may lived in the household with the parent, but you have some other, but they may have some outside relationship children. See the difference between my father's generation when they had children out of wedlock, because I'm quite sure my mother had half brother and half sisters and stuff like that. The thing is, men who had children, I'm not talking about men who got married the first time, got kids, get divorced, or they become a widower and have kids, and then they have, I ain't talking about that situation. I'm talking about when you were basically had this woman, got pregnant, then, messing around with multiple men, all kind of crazy stuff. But they had more shame about when that happened. They were shamed when they had children out of wedlock because I'm quite sure my father married my mother because my grandmother went to New York and told my father, "You're going to marry her." My mother told me this not even 2 years ago, was it? It's been like 3, 4 years ago I found that out. The only reason why my parents got married is because my grandmother went down to South Carolina and told my father he gonna marry my mother with having kids, and I'm quite sure they knew he had another child from another woman at the same time. Because me and my sisters, I remember that summer we would sit there calculating. We would say, when was your birthday? When was my birthday was November 1998, 1968. My sister was born October 31st, 1969. And then my deceased sister, who was younger, she was born October 30th, 1960 something, 1970, something like that. So and my sister Linda, she was born December 1969. So we were all born in a 9 month period of time, even though I was a preemie. So technically, I was supposed to be born in the year 1969 because I was born 3 months early. I was a preemie, so that's why I was raised by my grandmother till I was a baby up until 5, 6 years old. So we started figuring out, dang, we were all born around the same time, only months apart. And basically, my father basically was messing around, multiple women, well, two of them at the same time. I can only see, at the same time, it had three girls on my mother and had a brother and my other sister from the other woman. And I started asking questions and stuff and looking at how my mother looked when she was younger and the other woman. Man, my father went from light skin. My mother was very, light skin complexion. She might be a little bit darker than me. And the other woman was dark skinned, real dark skinned, short. My mother was tall. I was like, my father went from the extreme when he was messing with a woman. And I never told my father that, but we figured it out. I was like, I think one time I came across a picture of my father, and I was going through when he passed away. I came across a picture that somebody wrote. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if my mother wrote it about. I love. What did they say? It was so strange. I never said nothing. I never told my sisters too what I saw. It was a mess. Put it that way. I'm quite sure my father was messing around with two women because, and then when I found out, if I really want to know the full story, I think they all worked at they used to work at this hospital up in upstate New York. I think they all worked at the same place. So my father was he was the ultimate player, you know, the ultimate player. But he took care, he took care of me, my sisters, and my brother supposedly. But I think when when that tragedy happened with my youngest sister passing away suddenly, like she did, and the youngest brother passed away in a fire, and it happened around. When I think about the dates that it happened around the same time. If it wasn't the same time, it happened within a year. So it was very tragic. And I think I was always wondering how it might have made my father feel about it. But see, as we when my sister Cassandra, we've developed our relationship throughout the years, and it was an incident. It was something where my sister Cassandra did come to South Carolina and was at my grandparents' house and stuff when someone passed away and she was there and people was like, well, they didn't know about my sister Cassandra. So my father was kind of ashamed about, that he had another child. And even though years later, he had a sort of apologetic about it, because my mother and her family values of kids out of wedlock and all that kind of stuff, and wasn't really common. And it wasn't common, but because my father ain't the only one who did that. My uncle had kids from other women, and didn't marry them, and then they went on and got married and have children. And so I have a lot of cousins who have half brothers and sisters and siblings and whatever the case may be. But the thing about it is, at that time, men took their responsibilities. They might have been a player. I had my uncles. They've been a little bit, they've been a little bit fooling around and had other kids, and then get married and have another child and all that kind of stuff. They do take care of their kids, and I'm quite sure the foolishness that some of these guys or women doing now, they don't have no sense of responsibility. They just want to see a lot of these young girls, and even though in my generation they've done it, so I can't say the new generation is the only one doing all that being trifling. They just being a little bit, it's just more to it, put it that way. Because I remember my mother, she had three girls, me, my other two sisters at the time, and then, they took care of their responsibilities. They didn't, they did what they had to do. When I was younger, we went down south and stuff. You had a network of people who was there to help. My aunts, they babysit me and my sister. They took us to church on Sunday when my mother was working. We went down south in the summer with my other cousins, and when my grandmother raised me as a child, my mother sent money to my grandmother. A whole lot of things. The only reason why I ended up being raised by my parents at a later age, like 6 years old, and that was because my father wanted to take care of me. He didn't want me to stay down there and have my grandparents raise me like my cousin Travis was raised. So I remember leaving to go to New York, sitting in a car in the back seat, whatever kind of car they had, whatever, I can't remember it was. Might have been a Monte Carlo or something. And I remember sitting in the back seat of the car, crying in a cup of soda. It was Coca Cola, and I remember I was crying because I remember that day was clear as day. Leaving my grandparents after I was there all my life, I felt, to go to New York with two people who I really, see, I'm starting to cry, to two people who I really didn't know, because I wasn't reared as a baby in my parents. I was reared from a baby and sent to New York to be raised by my grandparents and my cousins. So I remember leaving in the backseat of the car crying. And if I can remember anything, I remember that. Even though I'm 53 years old, I remember that. My grandmother and my grandparents and my aunts, they talked about that years about me leaving. They were so hurt. They was like, they should have never took you away from us. And da da da. Cause I was the oldest. I was the oldest grand. And then my cousin Travis came, and then my other sisters. But I remember that. And I understood the reasons when I really think back at it. My parents probably struggling. My mother probably struggling. She was going to school, trying to take care of me, my sisters, and my father. It was a lot of stuff going on when I was younger. It was really bad. It was not that good. It was a lot of abuse. My father was physically, mentally abusive to my mother. They were fighting. And my other sister Linda, she remembered it. I didn't remember that because she said that my uncles came up to New York to beat up my father when he was abusing my mother and stuff. And I think during that time, in situations, it was a lot. It was a lot. I think I remember things growing up, and like I said, we didn't have money. My mother, we didn't live in the projects, but I remember we lived in the South Bronx, and you know, and it was a lot. It was a lot. Now, fortunately, as years went on and years went by, my mother always stood there by my father's side, even when he was drinking, and even when my sister was telling him to stop drinking, and he finally passed. He passed away because he had cirrhosis of the liver, and we made our peace. We made our peace. But I did not grow up in a very healthy family situation, and going through that and experiencing that, and my mother even, you know, forgave, forgave my father for what he's did, forgave and apologized to us for putting us in that situation. And it was other things too. It's a whole lot of mess. It wasn't always my father's fault, but my grandmother had some handling to it too in terms of what she did. But, you know, I know I'm a strong person, and that's why I said I'm able to overcome. But there's some scars. There's still emotional scars that I may not have really addressed. I mean, I brought it up, but um, that's why the situation of that video made me so mad and made me so angry because people put children in situations they didn't ask to come here, but people have kids, multiple kids, to live in poverty, selfish, to not being woman enough to let the man see their child, to let the man take responsibility of what they've done. And a lot of times people don't even address what these so-called men do to children just ridiculous. I'm quite sure my mother would have simply let my father say, you know what, I don't want you in our life. I don't want you here. I don't want you to see the girls. I don't want you, just move and get away. But my father, I'm quite sure he loved my mother. I know he did because he told me. And he even said to me when he was passing, your mother's a good woman, and regret how he may have handled situations, but he loved her enough to stay, to stay, to take care of his children, me, my sisters, even the other, my half sister and the brother. He loved us, and I think that he could have been like any other man and would have been like, you know what, I don't want these responsibilities. I'm leaving. I'm gone. You know, because it's kind of a torn situation. Because I remember when my parents were carrying, fighting and doing all that stuff. You know what? I said to myself, I always wish that they had got a divorce. I said that. I said, I wish they got a divorce. I wish they get a divorce because, and actually, my parents did apply for a divorce. My mother told me, she said that dang petition is still in the court records in New York of the divorce. So they never went through with it. Never went through with it because in New York, you have to share community property, and my mother wasn't going to about to split nothing with my father asset wise because my father wasn't responsible financially in a sense. I know he wasn't. He wasn't. And all the things my mother worked hard for, to provide for me, my sisters, and even my father, you know, from a house. And he said, you know what? And coming from my family values, people didn't divorce. People didn't divorce in my family, on my mother's side, I could say. So they didn't really, and I'm quite sure it was other factors that's brought into it why they didn't split up. But I always said to myself, if it was going to make it a little bit easier for me emotionally, that I said, I wish they get a divorce. I said, if they get divorced, then maybe then it will be better. I always thought that, but never said nothing about it. Never said anything about it. But I always wished it because I was like, it was good to have a two-parent household and have both your parents. But I said it wasn't good for them, and I felt that at that time things were not looking good, and people stayed together for whatever reason. I don't know. Now I know I was went off a whole new topic, went right off topic about what I was supposed to be discussing. But these generation, no, not this generation that we experiencing all these issues of people having three, four baby daddies and no, and they just want to be, they just want to have children and can't take and have no responsibilities. They always expecting somebody else to take care of them. Well, you're supposed to take care of them, no, they expect the mother, the grandparents of the children, the grandparents to take care of their kids. Usually, it's the woman's side of the family, it's the mother, and she's probably a single mother herself to have her. So they ain't had no two-parent household. They didn't have a man and a woman in the same household to teach them the responsibilities and teach them how a man should respect you. Because if the girl had a father who taught her how to respect, how a man should respect her, because they're gonna you get that example from the man, however that father, however you see that. You know what? It just brought something to my attention. Your relationship is going to be based upon how you were reared in the household. So even if you had a two-parent household and it was too conflicting, too much going on, whatever it may be, whether it be abuse, physical abuse, whatever, that's going to spill over in terms of your relationship and how it's going to be. And I think that's the reason why I've probably not been married or don't have any children, because of my upbringing of my that's because of my upbringing of what I experienced with my parents. And I think about then with my sister Linda, yeah, she was married to my ex brother-in-law, but that was a mess. That was a mess too. She was following behind him from Maine to Louisiana, and he was messing around with other people, cheating on my sister. It was a whole lot of things, but my sister still stayed with him. I don't know why she even stayed with him. And then when my sister almost got into an accident in New Orleans, this big accident a few years back, he married my sister because of the incident of she almost died in a car accident. And then at the time, my niece, no, I had my nephew. My nephew does not have his father's last name, even though he is a splitting image of him, me down to the core. Now, when my sister had my niece, she got his last name on the birth certificate. But my nephew, the birth certificate, his father's name is not on that birth certificate. He didn't want nothing to do with my sister. They might have been married less than 5 years before they got divorced, even though they met in high school. But my sister was running after him. Way before they had kids, he was running after him now, and got that needing of a man. Even the one she's with now, he's a narcissist. She followed him. This guy named Maurice. But she talks so bad about he's a narcissist and I don't want to be now. But she's staying with him for whatever reason. But he's like, oh, Maurice, she's thirsty. My sister thirsty for a man. And then I was like, if he's supposed to be all these things, why are you still staying around? And why would you pick up and leave to New Orleans the last year of my niece's high school? She was to graduate from high school that year. She picks up and leaves to move with this man to Houston. And then the way she speaks about him, he said he's this, he's that, but she's still staying around. Still with him because I guess maybe it's financial. I don't know. It has to be. But see, my sister, she be running after a man, Mm-mm. Now she may have gotten that aspect. She may have gotten that aspect from my mother for sticking around or staying around my father for years until he passed away. My sister got that. My sister got that part of the relationship from my mother. Well, I'm gonna stay by him despite that they do something so wrong. Despite you do something so wrong, you're gonna stay with him. My mother even, my sister patterns the relationship in terms of what my mother did. Staying with a man, even if they beat you, abuse you, cheat on you, you still gonna stay. And then get angry and then fight and carry on. My sister got that trait. I ain't never told her that because she be like, Nina, you talking about? But that's what it is. It is. She didn't get married the second time, but she might as well have been married to this guy because she's still living there. But she picked up and moved to Houston. When I met him, he wasn't a bad man. He wasn't ugly about it, but he didn't show up for the wedding, and then he showed up in a separate car, and it was like so messy. And I'm sitting there listening to my sister complain about he's a narcissist, And he tried to do this and he do that. I was like, you know what is it that you're doing? Because I didn't say nothing. Because me and my sister, we would fight in the street, literally. So I don't get involved with what she says when it comes to her relationship. All I know is it ain't all that good. She always talk about, yeah, me Maurice, he gonna marry me. He gonna marry me, and oh, Maurice, 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 Maurice. I was like, I'm so damn tired of hearing about it. I was like, what is the hell he's doing? He's like, oh Maurice, and I'm like, she's delusional. My sister's delusional. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I know I could tell maybe why it's happening or whatever. But what does that got to do with the damn video about the person bringing one McDonald's for his child and not the others? So basically, the not opinion. It is my opinion. My opinion about that is that no man is responsible to take care of nobody else's children. Point blank. Period. Now, if a situation comes up and a person brings food, do you bring it to other children because you don't want the other kids to feel bad or feel a certain way? I'm quite sure the little child would share with his siblings what they got. I'm quite sure they would have shared it. They would have been raised so little children. He probably would have shared it. You know, and I'm quite sure a typical man or woman would come to the house and would bring some bag of groceries. Bring not groceries, but they would have brought something to the house, whether it be a pizza, a soda. They would have bought something. They wouldn't have just went to McDonald's and bought one little Happy Meal, whatever, and just come to the house and just give it to the child. And then yeah, I don't think nobody would really do that. I don't think anybody would really do that. But I think that um, if a man was to provide, most of the time they'll probably give the mother money to buy things that's needed, but because most of the time men in situations when it comes to buying things for kids and stuff like that, they rather just give the mother the money to buy the needs of the child or what they need. They ain't no man gonna be walking around in no store looking for the stuff for, oh, let me see what I'm gonna buy for my son. Now they may go crazy over sneakers, but even then, they're not gonna do that. Men ain't got the patience to go shopping and say, oh, let me see what I'm gonna buy, let me see what outfits and da. They just gonna give the money to the mother so they could buy the necessities of the child, what they need. Now, people say, well, they should give, how much you should give a child or whatever. It's whatever they could afford. But we know damn well these trifling girls, I'm going to say women, these trifling girls or females, they just want to, I need some money. They're not spending that money for the child. Just like the food stamps, just like the SNAP card. You get $500-$600 a month. You ain't spending all that food stamp money on kids. You'll buy groceries, but you're gonna, but most of the time you ain't really, you ain't buying everything for kids to eat. You buying whatever food you bring in that house. Now, some people are responsible when it comes to their EBT card. They be trying to use it to get other things from it. I give you $200 of food stamp. You give me 100 or however that works. They be doing that all the time. Especially you go to New York. I mean, I know people need necessities and stuff, but people be, that's fraud, right? Selling your food stamp EBT card to get, you may need essentials, but when you walking around with nails down the head looking like fucking claws, and some ugly ass weave or wig on your head, and ooh, the ultimate lashes looking like Strophanopolis, you ain't spending all that money on those kids. You spend it on yourself. You take the fucking lashes off your fucking eyes. Maybe you could see your reality and those nails and whatever else ghettofied things people be doing with money. Now, for the longest time, I used to always, I ain't always thought that men were deadbeats. Don't get me wrong. I never thought that. But I always say that, damn, where the fathers at of these other children, or where the father at for these kids? Some of them do try to take care of some people, well, most of them really do try to take care of their kids, but some of these women, girls, females, are so fucking trifling that they would do anything to, like, hey, you ain't seen my kid, and putting those kids in poverty, suffering. Case in point, my nephew, the one I've been talking to y'all about, he's 25. No, he's not 25. How old he is? 33, whatever, right? The one I went to the wedding last year, it was about a year. It was almost a year, a week ago. He got married to this other woman, Abby, real pretty, sweet girl. I never got to know her, but they have a little girl. But prior to that, he was in a relationship with this other female that has two sons. She lived up there at Slidell somewhere, not working, demanding child support from my nephew for the two boys. He doesn't. I spoke to my nephew. I finally called and said how he was doing, and I said he did. She lives in some ghetto. No, he's telling me that she was living with the sister. Then she moved and lived somewhere in Illinois, Chicago. Then she came back and she living in this real bad area of Slidell, Louisiana. Won't let my nephew see the boys. Then turn around, this heifer got another baby boy from another person. So she got three kids so far, three boys, two of them my nephew, one from somebody else. And she living somewhere in the ghetto somewhere. She not working. She ain't living with the mama. She ain't living with no brother. She was living with the sister. The last time she took a picture of my nephews, the mother-in-law of his other grandmother, saw the pictures and said, "This boys ain't up. They're not kept. They unkept. They living in poverty. Then you living in this rough, real bad area, and then he paying child support, but she living like that." I said, I wish I was a lawyer. Sometimes I said, damn, I wish I was a lawyer, and I would have petitioned the court, or I'm trying to tell my nephew how to go about petitioning the court or help him go about it. But see, my mother was trying to help my nephew, you know, even paid the maternity test for the second boy when he was born. My mother paid for the test, DNA test, and trying to go about the ways of him getting custody of the kids because she's not taking care of those kids. Now I don't know because I didn't speak to her. I haven't, I don't know what's going on. I only go by what my nephew's telling me. But he's married to another woman got a little girl, you know, living the life. Now I don't know if he's struggling himself, but I know he said he's works at a restaurant and stuff. So, but that's just a hard situation Because even then, you have two boys living with their mother, and then she got a baby by another man. So you got three kids from two different fathers, basically, and you ain't letting them see the children or take care of the kids or have custody. So now you living in some ain't no telling because I don't even know. But from what my nephew told me, you live in people be so many women, girls were spiteful. They will milk a man. It's about, well, I need money, but then you refuse to let the child visit the fathers or let them take care of the kids. That's why I think that these old fashioned ways of women should have custody of the child, stay with the mother. That whole situation, that whole laws about rights of men with who genuinely wanted to have custody of their children should now be reversed, in my opinion. Should be now be reversed because so many of these trifling women these days, these young girls, all they want, even the ones I talk to at Amazon, they get on my fucking nerves sometimes. They be like, I want a man that money, he gotta give me this, give me. I said, stop asking, don't do that. Don't make yourself look like a damn fucking hoe. Expecting, you want a man who got some change. Because when they get tired of that shit and take advantage of you, then you goddamn be looking around looking stupid. Some of these kids. Yeah, they are spoiled. Yep, that's true. They sure don't. Let me walk through Walmart. I did my assignments today with survey, and I'll be doing my other assignments, going to the stores and stuff. I'm so damn tired of these raggedy ass kids be on it. I ain't talking about babies like crying, they babies are crying. But some of these kids, they be 5, 6 years. Man, I want this. I want this. I want. Man, if you don't sit your ass down and stop begging for stuff, they old enough. Say no. Learn to say no. Ain't nothing wrong with saying no to kids when they be wanting junk. You know, they not even ask. Like, mm-mm. You better learn to say no. You walk around here, you know, with an EBT card and ain't got no money and people. I mean, I all day today, all day today. All I saw was big fat girls with the tummy all out, wearing clothes that don't even fit, looking all sloppy and stuff, big thigh rubbing and stuff, looking crazy. And then I'm seeing so many damn women, pregnant women. They had a baby in the carriage, baby in the butt, this baby pregnant. And they just looking so like they struggling, not physically struggling because you pay, because it's hot out here. It was hot today. I mean, the kids throwing up a tantrum and they have another baby in the belly and they just had like 2, 3 kids all around them and stuff and I was like, where these damn fathers at? Where these dang men at to help them take care of these kids? It goes with no. There ain't nothing wrong with being saying no. All the kids, they like, and then just throwing out. I said, But I was looking around today, there was so many of these young girls that were pregnant and stuff. And it'd be just a group of them too. It wasn't I didn't say it was a group of pregnant girls. It was like you could tell they had no man. You could tell. Because when you see a pregnant woman, they have a young child and they pregnant, you always see the father. And every time I look, it'd be white. White, Mexican. They always be having they always be there with the girl, even I don't know, girlfriend, wife, with the pregnant wife. You see them. Us black folks, young girls, he walk around, he ain't got no man. You got one baby on the one hand, another baby on the other. People say, "How you know?" They could be at work. Chances are, no. Not only that, some of these kids will be going up to people and going, "Oh yes, oh yes." Especially the ones who be working at the fast food place, they be just disrespectful. Let me tell you what happened to the other day. Friday. Ooh, I was at the Publix shopping center waiting for someone to get out so I could park my car. This dumb nigga gonna be behind me. Get the fuck out of the way. Fuck you. You suck my dick. I said, shut the hell up. Um, I'm sitting here like, shut the hell up, you dumbass faggot, whatever. And you want to see my dick? Babe, you want some dick? You want some dick? I said, you know what? Then I started to take out my phone to call 911 because at this point he was like ballistic, going off crazy. They was like, what address? I said, ma'am, I'm on 124 in whatever, the shopping center. They was like, you know where I'm at. You got the, I said, you know what? Forget it. Because you sitting here, who's that in the background screaming like that? That's the complaint I have to talk about. I said, this man is behind me. He yelling and being very abusive, verbally, hanging out the window, talking, you want to see my dick? I wish I had a fucking gun and I would have shoot that fucking dick off, and then you wouldn't know where your dick is. I was so pissed. I wanted to get out the car, but I said, you know what, Teresa? Sit in the car. People in Georgia, Atlanta, Metro, been crazy. It's been at least 10 cases every day. Somebody walking to the subway, killing somebody walking the store, kill. I said, you know what? Stay in the car. Don't even say nothing. So this fool finally, he acted like he wanted to go. He had someone else. So he drove by me. He had no plate on the car. Had some broken down piece of shit. And I said, you know what, niggas. I wanted to take a fuck. If I had a gun, I wanted to shoot his brain off. Literally. Like really take a gun and shoot the fuck out of him. You know? I was like, just driving around. I wanted to get out the car, really. I wanted to get out the car, get a baseball bat, and bash that motherfucking head in. But you know what? I said, nope. I'm not going to Gwinnett County Jail over no dumbass nigga. And I said, these people crazy, y'all. Just plain crazy. And I said to myself, you know what? When I hear some incident about somebody came and shot the girl at the subway because of some stupid ass male, or this person got shot at the fast food place, or somebody jumped through the window to choke out of these people, it's because these people who work at these fast food, they flip with the mouth. Fuck me, bitch, fuck you, bitch. They be working. They talking to you like that. You come in there, ask them a question, they want to get an attitude, and then they be abusive too. And then I said, you know what? I said to myself, nobody deserved to get shot. But I said, what did that person say to get that person triggered to shoot them? Point blank, period. If it's two black folks involved, and it's some stupid incident, I said, what did the other person say? What did you say behind that counter, behind that fast food restaurant you work at? What did you tell people? Because, see, people been real disrespectful. These people been telling people off. You go to the window, people paying their money to get whatever nasty, raggedy ass McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. See, that's why these restaurants and stuff, they can't, people getting, I say, you know what? If you don't like your job at McDonald's or Burger King, or choose whatever nasty, yuck burger place, except for Culver's and Chick-fil-A that people work at, that they want to talk at the food. It's always us acting a fool at these fast food places. And when somebody come up to the counter and somebody punched them in the face, people on there, oh my God, they crossed the whole riot. You see a whole big old riot going on. Because you know what? if they ever had video, play what happened. I don't want this on my thing. What do you want? Man, I ain't trying to. I'm so tired of fixing that. Here they go, flip with the fucking mouth. I don't know why people become trying to order something. They don't know what and they'll be just, because they be doing that to me. And I say, you know what, little girl, you don't want to stay at your job. You need to go home. Number two, you're not talking to me like that. And then they went back, yeah, bitch, yeah. When I punch you in your face, it'll be yeah. Then the man, I said, you know what? Y'all a bunch of dumb, and I tell them this just like this. I said, you know what? Y'all a bunch of dumbass niggas, and y'all glad I ain't gonna jump over this counter and beat the shit out of you because your parents should have beat the shit out of you. You don't talk to me. You don't talk to no one in that matter. Ain't no point getting no fucking manager and I don't think you're a manager. They come here, they just as trifling too. I said, I've been standing here and this person looking at me all crazy and, they need to go. Mm-mm. And at that point, I said, you know what? I don't even feel like ordering nothing here. Ain't no point calling no corporate office. Ain't no point calling no 1-800 number because they ain't going to do shit. Exactly. That's why I refuse to go in niggerville areas and order anything. I will starve first before I ever go into any establishment in that matter. I won't. Because the people, and I don't, y'all be thinking I don't be starting nothing. I walk, I don't know what it is. Are you jealous or what? And I look at them, I say, you know what? You look stupid as hell for one thing. I tell them that. I said, first of all, you're a female. You need to pull up your clothes and don't come walking out the house looking like you slept in your clothes. Or better yet, you need to get those nasty, ugly fingernails off your fingers. And matter of fact, since you can't seem to read the register, take those damn ugly ass lashes off your eyes. Maybe you could see and maybe know how to count money correctly. It'd be all like this, whole thing like this. Lashes up to the damn, whatever. Just stupid. Just 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 as stupid. I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I can now take live video on my phone because I'm gonna start video some of this bullshit that I be seeing. But you know what? I don't even feel like going to those places. I just don't. That's why I don't do Uber Eats. That's why I don't do those food delivery apps. Because now most of the places are ordering from there. You go there. Okay, I have friends and stuff at Amazon. They working for those apps. And I said, what you doing? I said, oh, they be at these places. Girl, I just went to Wendy's and they said they ain't taking no orders, but they still open. I was like, oh, God. Exactly. They just have no civility, no whatever. In Atlanta, you in these ghetto ass neighborhoods or even areas that go into gentrification and stuff, and you go to one of those whatever, and you come. I said no. That's why I said, when I go when I go someplace and I want me a cheeseburger or a fish sandwich or something, I go to Culver's. We're up there in Lawrenceville. Well, it seems like Snellville, but it's really Lawrenceville. And they'll be like, "Is there anything I can help you with?" I ain't never had to. I ain't never had to be deal with that. Never, never. Even one day when they cooked that burger, overcooked the burger, and I sat there to eat it, and I was like, and the old lady was walking around. She supposed to do the dining room. I said, "Excuse me, but this burger is way overcooked now." Showed it to her. She said, "Oh yes, that is way overcooked." I wait, and they gave it back, and they fixed me a fresh one, and they were like, "Oh, you apologize," and this and that, because I know they were busy, and somebody probably was doing something else and kept the thing on longer than needed, but they ain't get no attitude. They ain't get no kind of nothing. And it wasn't because it was all white people, because they weren't all white people. They were black kids, white kids, young people. And I know they probably lived right around the area. went to Brookwood High School and stuff. They probably, you know, their parents probably were like, okay, you're gonna find a job, you're gonna work, so you can make some money when you go to college in the fall or whatever the case may be, or they working a little part-time job, after school during the summer, like in high school, because a lot of them I could tell still they still in high school because when they graduate, they always put down the names of when they graduated, who worked there, going on to college. They'll put it out up there in the spring, and they'll be like 15, 20. I was like, dang, they got a lot of people who went to college that worked at this particular Chick-fil-A or Culver's or whatever. You could tell work ethics. They didn't have you didn't have you didn't they didn't have to work, but they did because they was in high school and they want to make a little bit of money and not overburden the parents begging and just acting like they entitled. I find it so amazing that people who sport firecrackers, people who be wearing the Jordans and the $300 shoes, they ain't got shit, they ain't got a pot to pee in, living on the begging, living up there in Columbia Drive or Memorial Drive in the ghetto hood, and then getting on TV. They telling us we gotta leave, but you got $400 sneakers on your feet. No, and this is not a new phenomenon. It's even when I was growing up, people lived in the South Bronx and lived in the ghetto. They ain't had no money, people struggling, but yet they be the main ones with gold on their neck, expensive ass designer clothes. But you live in the hood, struggling, but you want to look good. Mm-mm. It's always been like that. Always been like that. Then when you go to see other white kids and people who lived in the very affluent neighborhoods and areas and stuff, they didn't wear their worth. They did not wear their worth on them back on their back. They didn't wear their worth. Now I'm not saying all people don't do that, even rich, but come on. But these attitudes now with these disrespectful kids, they need an ass whooping. They need a good old fashioned extension cord, paddle, belt, whatever. Now I know extension cord is abuse. I know that this is abuse. But some of them need their ass whooped. They need a good ass whooping. When that thing carried on, when you see these kids carry on at a certain age, no. You don't discipline that. If you don't discipline children when they're young, when they carry on like that, they're gonna grow up to be um, entitled, disrespectful. They're gonna disrespect you. They're gonna disrespect others. And when you get this, and then when you get disciplined by the police, don't you ain't seen me. You ain't seen Teresa up and down Peachtree Street. Black Lives Matter. He didn't do it. Did it? No. I want to hear the whole story. What happened? If you ain't gonna be just driving down the street, police pull you over, and next thing you know you on the ground. No. In some cases, there may be some racial camps, bad cops, but something was said, something been done. These kids and things that are happening, they being disrespectful. Just totally disrespectful. You know, I ain't saying in all cases but it's always something. What is happening for that to happen? Because people want to run with the mouth, run with the mouth. They want to run with the mouth because they don't want they felt that somebody doing something wrong to them. You know, I see it all the time. Every case I hear about it, I'm not quick to say, oh no, they did something wrong. Oh no. People are getting killed because, it's like they wanna test you. They wanna test people. I ain't gotta do nothing. I ain't gotta all up in people. And then when they and then when people you trigger people, they take out a gun and shoot your ass. Then they were like, oh, they got shot. She want to know. Let's be real. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Especially when it comes on black crime. We all know you come across Shaquita and all these Monifa and Marquez and people with two names that's in one, Jardavius and everybody else. Pick any ghettofied name, Javandi, and all that. When it come across Laquita and whomever, you say something to people, and people pull out a gun. You can't don't get your smart ass in trouble. You know, especially at these fast food places that's in the hood. I'm trying to take off this compression socks. You work in the hood, and you come across um, Marquise and Javudia or whomever the hell niggerish names coming from. They come on here and you try to be all in the drive-through, wrapped around the building, and you go inside, all that major confusion, and people barely got enough money to buy a simple nasty ass cheeseburger from McDonald's or Burger King or wherever, with the exception of Chick-fil-A and Culver's. But these places in the hood, you can't be coming up here smacking that lip and getting a fucking attitude and thinking, yeah, fuck you, bitch, I'm a fuck you. Don't do it. See, they come, when I come in there and I say, excuse me, you got the door open, you have a sign, da da da. Okay, the place in order. They looking at you crazy. So, can you come up here? Cause this person wanted me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? See, they figure they could target certain people and figure certain people ain't gonna say nothing. You old lady, that's the only thing they start off with. You old, you know. Yeah, I'm older compared to your dumb, stupid ass. And they always be, what the fuck are you doing? Just standing around there and they just want to get an attitude. I was like, You just gonna come on outside and just gonna come up here and start touching the register and not wash your hands. My cat, can you come up here? Cause she wanted. Then he talked to the manager. He said about she just came from outside. They didn't wash her hands. And then she come over here. And then they look like I said something wrong. Wow. I said, you know what? I don't even want whatever. I said, who's the manager? I said, what's the corporate number? It's 1-800. It's only I don't even know the number. I said, no, I don't want no 800 number that goes to a third party call center. I need the owner or the manager or who owns this franchise. That's who I want. That's who I need. We ain't got that number. Sometimes you just want to jump over the fucking counter sometimes and just choke some of these dumbass people with their dumbass attitude. They don't want to know why there was somebody there who come over here who don't even give a fuck, come over here and shoot their ass. And there's been several times, there's been several things in Atlanta at these fast food places. Oh, the manager got shot 2 weeks ago on Moreland Avenue and then um such and such girl got, got shot on Northside Drive, or so and so got killed on um, Howard E. Howard Mill, whatever. Every single time they mention a place, I said, hell no, I've been there. Been there, drove there, know the area. I was like, hell no. When I hear stuff like that and they mentioned the address or the area, I said, hell no. Most of the time, black on black crime, real ghetto. And those niggas don't play. I had to drive and do deliveries over there. I said, nope, turn that app straight off and be gone. Boom. I said, I don't know how the hell, next thing you know, you downtown Atlanta. Next thing you know, you all up in on the bluff and some other, ooh. I said, I don't know how the hell did I came over here. I turn that app off and make my way beeline right back out of the area. Beeline right out, gone. And then some of y'all got the nerve when I used to say I don't go to certain areas, I don't serve certain people. Y'all criticizing me. You can't just judge people. They got to order food too. Well, I got to make money too. And I'm not going in the fucking Nickelville hood to deliver shit just to get a damn nasty attitude. Nope. Nope. I would treat them with respect. I would go up there, whatever, and just thank you for ordering, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for the tip. And I go right on back in my car. But most of the time, I get some, I get grocery deliveries and stuff in places and stuff, you know. I was like, because some people may not have the money to have a card, and they may not have no grocery stores in the area. So they have to go from wherever. But I be very cautious and be very careful where I go. But I never really had no problems like that. I ain't never had nobody, not really. But I would not want to be in the area because this could be a little bit dangerous. Especially, I said, oh no, I'm not buying. I go there and I be saying, I'm damn thirsty. I need something to drink. I said, where the Quick Trip at? Or where the, I was like, dang, ain't no Quick. Be one of those raggedy convenience stores where you look at the shelf, all the snacks are dusty, got dust on it, dirt. So you can't tell the thing's expired. They be all stale. I said, I wouldn't even take a napkin out of that place. I'm like, hell no. And even around Stone Mountain too, there's some areas in Stone Mountain. I said, I'd be like, dang, I'm thirsty. I'd be in that 30083 zip code. There'd be no Quick Trip nearby. It won't be no kind of nothing. All raggedy, nasty ass McDonald's, nasty ass convenience stores where all they sell is lottery tickets and blunts. I wouldn't get a napkin out of that place. So much um, anything they have. I'm like, I'll wait. I'll be thirsty first before I wait till I get to my side of town, or wait till I get to more in a more nicer area where I got Quick Trip and you know whatever. But those little third party convenience stores, y'all know I used to work at that doing those candy deliveries. I would be in certain stores in the hood. I think I made a video about it. I think I downloaded it. It might be one of my old videos. I was out there. It was a bright of day. These dumb niggas want to fight in front of the store. I said, hell no. Let me hurry up and get the hell on out of here. And it'd be just stupid. I was like, oh God. And the poor people who own the convenience store be Indian or Asian people. They don't say nothing to keep them out of the front of the store. They don't even say anything. They be all dirty and nasty and stuff. I've been like, nope. I will wait to get something because the fountain drinks and stuff never be clean. I'll be looking all nasty. I'm like, ugh, hell no. But it's getting rough out there. I know that. What was my last topic? I talk so much. I talked for an hour and 30 minutes, y'all. Thanks for the 10 thumbs ups. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But, whew, it is getting rough out there, y'all. I mean, it's happening all across the country, but they taking over those hood areas. They throwing people out of their house, out of the apartments rather. They said, oh, y'all got 30 days, 60 days to move. And they just pushing people out, pushing people out. They even in the roughest of hood places. And I was like, damn, where the hell they gonna be going to? And I'm not talking about they doing it within the city. They already cleaned up in inner city and moved them out. That happened since the Olympics, but shoot. It's like people say, well, you can find a place to live. I said, I spoke to one person, I told her, I said, you ain't gonna find no damn apartment for no $1,400 a month. Y'all crazy. Y'all, you cannot find no 1,400, 1,500 a month, 2, 3 bedroom. I said, mm-mm. There's places in Tucker. People may live in an apartment. I said, shoot, whoever owns this apartment, they're gonna sell it. And they're gonna be like, nope. They're gonna sell it, they're gonna bulldoze things down. You know? I mean, I'm so grateful that I have my house and have my home that I have that I'm trying to fix up now. But they coming even after me. You want to sell your house? You want to buy your house? You want to sell, buy, sell, whatever. I'm like, get the hell on, move. But I don't know. All right, I've been on here hour and 32 minutes. I forgot what I was going to really talk about, but I think I talked about the main points that I mentioned so far. But anywho, oh, and check out the description of the different apps that I put on there. I'm gonna say this one last point. I think I need to do a video and talk about one topic and stay to that one topic rather than jumping all over the place. But yeah, check out the links. I did pretty. My goal, since we have 6 more months for the end of the year, my goal is to make $12,000 with all these different apps that I'm doing. So I'm going to add up my progress so far, not just with survey.com, but it's some other little ones that I was doing too. And then I'm going to um, make a goal to achieve that because I don't know. We are in a recession. They finally say, oh, we're in a recession, but I see the gas prices is going down a little bit today. But some places it's still like 4.39. Some places I saw is going down to $4.20. But I think that's because they put a tax freeze on the gas in the state of Georgia. So, and then of course Biden tried to put a little tax freeze on the federal tax, but it's time to really tighten up one's budget for sure. But anyway, y'all, if y'all want me to talk about certain topics, let me know. And if you're looking for a part-time job or a full-time job for the season, tax season, TurboTax is hiring. You don't have to do taxes. You're not going to be credentialed. But if you are a CPA or something and you credentialed and you come across my video, please send me your name, email, not your resume, just your name, telephone number, email, and I will forward it to the recruiter. So I'll put my email in the chat. And they do hire people just to take calls, not take, but answer calls, answer chats, just to help people go along with the software. But it's not hard. And it pays pretty good as an entry level starting out, depending on where you live. So Um, they are looking for people now because December will come around, but then there's certain things you have to go through before then. But they will be hiring people for sure. They need people because they didn't. They were very short-handed last year, and they hired third-party companies to take over to do certain things. But you don't want to go to a third party because you're not going to get paid compared to if you work directly. And then they'll send you a laptop. The only thing is you just have to be hardwired, connected to Ethernet, but they'll send you the equipment. So I will be going back to work with TurboTax in August. So I got what, a little bit over a month. I'm still going to be working at Amazon Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even though I think they're slowing down now because when I come to work, they be like, oh, we got BTO, volunteer time off. And I said, shoot, I know I don't have to take it, but sometimes I take it because it's just too much. But I'm there, like I told her, I said, I'm just here for the insurance because, and tuition, the career choice. And I already completed that. So I'm going to still work there as long as I can until something else comes along. Like I did an interview with a company last week, but that's an independent contract job. But I'll let y'all know further more about it. But I just need to we need to work on our budget and see anything we could do and show y'all from a real perspective from a person who do gig work, not just Uber Eats and Grubhub, but it's getting rough out there, even doing those apps, Instacart and stuff like that. So it's kind of different from, in 2008 when the recession, when things were bad. Most people weren't doing those type of apps, during 2008, 2009. They didn't they didn't have those type of apps during that time. So because these apps were only around what 2015 maybe, but a lot of people weren't doing them. But you can make pretty decent money back then. But now, it's hard. I try to tell a certain person about you know that sometimes you have to set a goal. You have to set a goal and say, you know what, I'm gonna do. If you do $35 a day for 30 days, you make 1,000 something a month, and you could use that to save, spend, or invest. I do my little investments, and even though the market's down a little bit, I set aside a certain little, I set aside a certain amount of money, and then I use that as my investment. So right now I have a Rise, and I have another company that I do investments with. I do the Cash App with the that and Robinhood, but that's not. I just use that as my play money, But that's not where all my investments are, you know. But I could talk about that soon. But you have to really streamline, really cut out a lot of things when you're spending. So you don't hear me talk too much about going to Panera. I do go to Culver's maybe twice a month, and then I went today. But other than that, I'm not really trying to spend all that unnecessary money eating out because that could be, people be thinking, oh, I ain't spending that much, but you'd be surprised. You add up $200 a month eating out when you could really start buying groceries, and groceries could be expensive. So you have to really be budgeting that. When you do these gig work, you do these apps, you're doing gig work, You got to think about the amount of money you're spending on gas. You got to make sure you keep money set aside for your maintenance, oil changes, and things like that. See, right now, I got to take my Nissan in for an oil change. But see, when I bought my vehicle, they had added a maintenance plan in the price, and I didn't know. I was like, oh no, the oil change is free. If you already came with a package, so you got what was it, 8 more oil changes, and that doesn't include just oil changes. But they're trying to tell me we don't wash the car because of COVID. You're not in the car. You're washing the outside of the car. And it also should include the tire rotations and check all the fluids in that package too. They be trying to half-ass do your job. And I was like, make sure. I said, nope. You're not just gonna change my oil and that's it. It's gonna come to oil change. It's gonna come with this, that, that. Call me crazy, but I got the PS5 from Amazon for $600. Oh, okay. What's the PS5? What's that? Brooklyn boy, you should have told me about the microwave. Oh, PlayStation 5. The little housemate of mine, they came in here with a microwave, but I don't need a microwave because I already have a microwave. So we got a big ass microwave sitting on the counter. I could have spoke with that person and said I could have shipped you a free one to see how much it costs to ship. But yeah, you know what? If you got that PlayStation 5 and you had any old game systems and stuff, shoot, you could put that on Macari and all these places that people be buying things. I'm gonna go to my house tomorrow because I got some stuff I could sell, brand new, whatever. And people be buying gaming systems and stuff. You'd be surprised things that you could sell that people buy. Anywho, I guess I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Next time I go back to work, will be Thursday. Hopefully this time I won't take VTO again, but well, the microwave I bought works with Alexa since I can't see well with the buttons. Oh, okay. I didn't know a microwave do all that. Alexa, put it on 2 minutes. That's cool. Nah, I ain't got nothing like that. I ain't that fancy. I probably would have given you a code because they said that as an employee you get $100 off a year when you buy things on Amazon. But I canceled my Prime membership. I don't have Prime no more. I said nope. That $150 a year. I mean, that may not be a lot, but when you spread it over. But then I said nope. I canceled that. And Prime is coming up in a couple of days, so I'm quite sure they're gonna be. Oh, we need all hands on deck. We need people, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as. I don't think it's gonna be as busy when it comes to Amazon Prime. I told people, I said I think they're slowing down, and all the issues with the shipping and logistics of shipping and shortages is going to be a major issue coming up about that. But I don't know. I just don't know. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to do a video showing you some of these apps that I'm doing, like this one, Observa. You can't see it. I'm gonna start talking about some ways you can make extra money Ooh, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna go to Sprouts, $20 to look for some nasty Beyond Meat. I'm gonna do this tomorrow. One, two, I sure can. Yep, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do about, that's an easy one. Anywho, all right, y'all. Happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Don't burn your house down. Don't burn your fingers. Don't. And if you have any pets, please keep them in the house. Put some, put the windows down. Put the shade down because firecrackers and fireworks, it's very dangerous for pets, and you don't want to scare them. So all that loud booming noise, I'm gonna make sure Charlie stays in the house because I don't want him to be out there with all that fireworks and stuff. So be safe with your animals, and you don't want to give them anxiety because they said they could actually get anxiety, and it's not good for pets, especially dogs. So I don't want to harm Charlie. I don't want him to get scared. So I'm gonna make sure he's by my side. But anywho, I think it's gonna rain tomorrow in Georgia. Oh, okay. Oh, well, you know what they said? They said to put them in the room, close the window, try not to have all that noise come through or something. And they said also put some toys in front of them so they could have something to play with. They said that helps too. But oh, okay, that's good. All right, y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And then if you want to look a job and you're looking for something, you don't have to learn how to do taxes. You just have to, you know, it's not hard. It's very easy. They're looking for people now. And just a disclosure, I do get a gift card for it for the referral. So I would appreciate anyone. You don't have to send me your resume. Just send me your name, phone number, and email. I'll send it over to the recruiter, and then they will contact you further, and they'll go and help you. But you don't have to have no experience. You just have to. Unless you're an enrolled agent or CPA, you get paid way more money. So, and you make your own schedule. That's the good thing. You can make your own schedule. You don't have to. It's not a certain schedule you have to follow. You just have to follow the three criterias throughout the tax season, and you'll get your bonus. Now, that's a good thing. Anyway, because this economy is coming up, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. All right, y'all. I guess I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for the 10 thumbs ups. Please comment and share and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right. Have a great night. Bye, Brooklyn.